Are you not impressed? I'm not even going to say what's going on, people. Are you not impressed? Leeds 1, Palace 5, 2 wins in a row, 2 out 2. Fantastic second half performance. We're going to be talking about that and more in this show. As always, if you do enjoy the content, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to know our future Palace content. The link will be posted in just a second where you guys can join and have your say. What a game. And another game testing the character. 1-0 down and we bounce back. Forget about bouncing back. We destroyed Leeds. We absolutely destroyed them in the second half. It's unbelievable, AJ. Unbelievable. I mean, where's this Palace side been? Some of the players, Johnson, at least say 3 assists. Edward on a score sheet. Are you on a hat trick? What on earth was that, man? That was fantastic. Go on, AJ. What do you mean by that, man?
Hey, listen. Anything I said about Roy Hodgson, if he ever gets this, I apologize from the bottom of my heart. I mean that because that performance, bro, this guy's already got the freedom of Croydon. I don't know what else we can give him. Give the man a statue or something, because that performance, after about the first half an hour of that game, I thought it was going to be looking very peak for us. And we just, I don't know if that goal just triggered us or it woke us up. The atmosphere was crazy intimidating. Like, oh, bruv, I still even, it's not even clicked in. 5-1 against Leeds at Ellen Road. And now we're 4 points ahead of them. Chelsea, come outside because we're only round the corner. Listen, I don't even want to talk about escaping relegation. I want Europe. I'm going crazy right now. No, I'm joking.
I'm in the ship myself for Europe. I'm in the ship myself.
Nah, I'm playing. But, oh, yeah, man, bro. what Easter Sunday, mate. The Lord has risen, mate. You get me?
It's mad.
We're nice.
It's genuinely mad. It reached a point, yeah. I think it was like the fourth goal, fifth goal. I didn't even celebrate. Like, it was like, I've done this like 4 times already. Like, I didn't even need to celebrate. It's just that easy, like that straightforward. You get me? Like, it was.
Bro, I apologize to my neighbors because I just went crazy. When that equalizer went in, I went mad.
Yeah,
when the 2 or 3 went in, I started going crazy. And obviously, our group chat don't get leaked too tough, but I was like, I want more. And we just kept getting it. Like, oh, this is peak Palace. This is the one. Like, do you know what? I might have to apologize to Steve Parish too, because whatever his decisions he's made, this is crazy. What a beautiful day. What a result.
It's mad.
It was just
a mad day.
It was just amazing. You scored 2 goals. Elite ripped them apart. Like, Wilf, you may not be able to get back into the team, son. Wilf may not be able to get back in the team right now. Do you know how crazy that is?
It's mad. It's mad.
Hey, yo.
We're talking about Wilf not being able to. This was without Zaha and our first choice goalkeeper as well. Imagine if we had Wilf. That could have been like. Well, if we had Wilf, I don't know. It could have like, because the way that IU was playing, I don't know if it could have got any better, even if Wilf was there, because he's a player that stepped up to the plate once again. Last game he got an assist. This game, it was on the score sheet. Like, it was unreal.
I can't believe it, man. Listen, man, that Roy Hodgson slander, I'm binned it off quick. I binned it off last week, but this week, unreal scenes, mate. Unbelievable scenes, man. Shout out to those guys that went to Leeds on the Easter Sunday, man. They backed the boys. Amazing performance. I think even from a defensive perspective, mentioned Sam Johnson. I was a bit concerned about it because obviously it was his debut in goal for us. And obviously playing at that elite level, he hasn't done that for a very long time. So throughout the squad, man, just what an incredible performance, man. We kept creating chances. We were ripping them to shreds. Considering how Leeds started the game and the fact that we dug deep and managed to pull a performance like that, especially in the second half, you wouldn't think it was Ellen Road. You wouldn't think it was. It was.
It like Sellers Park.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking it's Sellers Park out here. Like, I don't know.
Home. The way they were just passing about, especially towards the end of the game, it felt like we were the home side. Like the way it felt like we were Barcelona for a second. Like I thought I was watching
mate, bro. Listen, and it's funny because in the preview I mentioned we need I would have been all right with a draw. If I could get a win, we need to get many points on the board as possible. We got that. We got them. That is all that matters, mate. Get the 3 point, get more and more and more points as possible. And then come the end of the season, we can chill. We can take it easy. We can hit the bear gardens a little bit more calmer. Right now, this is the kind of games we need to be showing up. And to show up with 5-1, what more can I say?
Look, let's be honest. The first 20 minutes to half an hour, it was poor. It was poor. We didn't have nothing going forward. And I was a bit worried then. When we conceded that first goal, I was like, damn, like we are on the back foot here. And Leeds were the better side for the first 20 to 30 minutes. But in set pieces, we were a threat. We were a threat. Despite being poor, every time we had set pieces, we were a threat. And then Gahey, of course, scores that goal. But in the second half, the thing that I wanted the most to change was that the midfield to get on the ball. And when I talk about the midfield, it's the likes of Eze and Elise. They are sleeping on themselves. They've been sleeping on themselves this season, not even us. Because they've got the potential. They've got the talent to get goals and assists. Just like we saw. I mean, Elise in the second half was unstoppable. I don't care what anyone says. I mean, that was like a 10 out of 10 performance. 3 assists. Forget about assists. He was fantastic defensively as well. Putting in challenges. I know people are going to talk about his assists, but he was brilliant going back, tracking back, helping out Wardy in his second half. Brilliant in midfield, brilliant in attack. I mean, fantastic performance. But that's it. It's down to these players. In the first half, well, we're just a bit lackadaisical. It's like, I'm gonna try and make this pass. We weren't really aggressive. By the second half, we were like how we played against Leicester at home. We were aggressive, we were more direct, and they couldn't stop us. They literally couldn't stop us. On the counter-attack, we absolutely destroyed Leeds. And that's what we want to see going forward. 2 out of 2. Once again, I'm not changing my stance. Another cup final coming up against Southampton. I want to pick up as much points as we can till the end of the season. Let's see where we can go. I want to move away from the relegation zone. Yes, but let's see how high up the table we can go. It sets a different type of challenge. I'm not saying we're going to finish top 10 or maybe top 8, but, it makes it exciting. But today, you have to give credit to the manager. You have to give credit to the manager because this player, the likes of, for example, Eze. We saw Eze under Vieira and he wasn't playing as often. And every time he did come on, he seemed low of confidence. But under Hodgson, that has changed. Now, I don't care what you think. A player cannot just flip the switch like that by himself. The manager has to give him a bit of confidence as well. And I feel like Hodgson has done that. Hodgson has done that to some of these attacking players that's been, struggling. And it's down to the basics, really. It's down to the basics. Giving them confidence. And today in the second half, we saw it as well. We went out halftime. It was a poor first half. I know we got a goal. Second half gives them the confidence. And these players do what they have to do. He doesn't have to do Pep type of tactics in terms of patterns of play. He just has to tell these players to go out there and have fun. And when we do have fun, trust me, everyone's smiling here. The players, the fans, because they've got the talent. They've got the talent to cause problems. But look, the lines are open. If you guys want to join and have your say, click on the pinned comment. And let us know your comments in the comment section as well. Don't worry, we'll be trying reading them out throughout the show. Let's start off with the first guest, Looney, a.k.a. Aaron. Aaron, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. How are you?
Bro, I'm buzzing. I'm in shock. After the fourth goal, I think it was the fifth goal, I think the players didn't celebrate themselves. They were just like, what's going on? Like, even they couldn't believe it. It was absolutely madness. But, game of 2 halves. First half wasn't as great. I know we got to go back. Second half, that is the peak Palace. Like, that is Palace at its best. I mean, with the players that we got on the pitch. What a game.
Yeah, man. It's good to see smiles all over on the match, post-match that we watch. Normally, we haven't had this in a long time. But, I'm glad. I saw you lot coming on all smiles and, it was nice. Good to see. Well, I just want to say, I haven't got too much to say, to be honest, but I want to say one thing, yeah? To everyone who was saying Vieira in, open your eyes, because this is what I was trying to say a long, long time ago. This is why I get frustrated, because you've got players there that are so talented and they've showcased it yet again today. This is what their true potential is, right? And the setup we had before in terms of the management and coaching was not the correct key to unlock that door. It's as simple as. So I don't know how certain fans were watching the way we used to play before and were blaming the board 100%. It's not justified, bruv. This is what this team is capable of. And it is not a coincidence that players like Schlupp Bruv, did you see Schlupp today? He looked like a different beast. Did you
Yeah, in the
see
last two
IU? He
games.
looked
In the
like a
last two
different
games.
beast. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying to you. You're going to tell me that's a coincidence? Like,
It goes down
these
to the
players
manager.
were literally on the verge of going to play in a championship club. And now look, they've maintained a certain level of consistency for 2 games in a row. So that shows there is, even in our worst players, if they're utilised correctly, we can get more out of them. And that's exactly what Roy Hodgson has done. And I'll put credit on Roy. I'll put credit on Ray. I think Ray has helped him a lot as well. 2 very, very experienced guys who know their football, tactical masterminds, and they've got the best out of this team. And like I said, we shouldn't go down with the talent that we have, and I don't think that we will. We may lose games, don't get me wrong, but I don't think we're going down, bruv. No way.
Yeah, it felt
Right.
like watching the Roy side that we had under him around the 17-18 season, 18-19 season. And I said that when he first joined, it could go either way. It could go horribly wrong. But then again, we had an aging squad when he was last at Palace, and maybe that's why we were struggling. But you know, the way that when we beat Leicester, I remember the times when we beat Leicester, was it 4-1, 5-1? It felt like that. Like it was just, and on the counters, like just so clinical. And now that we got better talent, these players, you know, just absolutely destroyed Leeds in the second half, especially on the counter.
Absolutely. And I just thought it's criminal that I saw man like Eze on the bench so many times under Vieira. It used to hurt my feelings, bruv. Seriously, like that guy has to play. He has to play, bruv. He is just like our playmaker in the middle. That's it. He creates majority of things, obviously alongside Elise. But that guy, bruv, he skilled up 3 players at the same time today and made them run into each other and get hurt. You know what I'm saying? You're talking like next level there. He's just growing. The guy's just getting more and more confident.
Yeah.
While I
And by
remember,
the way,
Aaron,
yeah.
while I remember, look, my eyes are opened. My eyes are opened to what you were saying. I apologize. You were on the money.
I was just frustrated, bruv. That's all. But listen, I still think you're right. The board needs to sharpen up a little bit as well. But we do have enough there to definitely keep us up. And even maybe I'd even go as far as saying push for more. Push for a bit more.
So
Definitely.
for you, is it now a case of looking up the table rather than down, or is it just still too early?
Yeah, no, still too early. I think that we will. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if we lose a game or even more than a game or 2.
Well, I expect us to lose at some point.
Yeah, but we're not going to struggle. Like, we're going to look like, even the games that we do lose, we're going to look like the team that can always come back. Because even look, today we proved it again. 1-0 down, we come back and win. Last week, 1-0 down, we come back and win. That confidence is what we need always. You see, and that's what we have now. We never had that before. And I feel that Ray and Roy have unlocked that.
Yeah, it's a massive game against Southampton next time around. But if they play like this, then there's not that much to be worried about. But look, anything else that you want to add before you go?
No, I just want to say have a good Sunday to everyone and enjoy it, man. Feels good.
I'll tell you what, actually, Aaron, quickly, Aaron. So going into Southampton now, what do you reckon? Keep the same squad, and what do you reckon the result's going to be?
Actually, that's a good question because I'm not sure about Edouard. Is he really injured or will he be playing?
Yeah, well, if
I don't think he's going to be that bad. I think that was more of a precaution.
We're away, aren't we, to Southampton?
Yeah,
St. Mary's,
another away game. Yeah.
I would play 4-1-4-1 again, like we did, because it worked. It does create a scenario like it did today where we look a little bit, sitting deep in the beginning. But whilst Dee's saying that we looked poor when we were doing that, actually that was a tactic in itself, I think, because it's like Roy was feeling them out to see what they've got, how they're going to come at us, what spaces will open up, how we could counter and get in behind. So I think we should do the same thing again with Southampton because Southampton are less potent and we will be able to figure them out within the first 15, 20 minutes and they can make another tactical change and get the goals. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, it eases the pressure. No one expected us to win this game. Let's be real. Well, people did, of course, but I wasn't one of those. I would be happy with a draw away from home without Wilf. the fact that we destroyed them 5-1 is just, I can't believe it. It still feels like a dream right now, even by saying it. Everything considered, I mean, Vicente wasn't playing today as well. But Sam Johnson, before you go, actually, Sam Johnson, decent. I mean, in the first half, he saved us a lot. And the problem with him is that he needs to stay fit. If he's fit, then we might have a goalkeeper in our hands, but that's a big if.
Yeah, marvellous. He's marvellous keeper. I was so impressed with what he did. And just can't fault it. I mean, it could have been a different game, you're right, if he didn't make those saves. So there is that side to it as well. But for me, my man of the match was Eze. He's always been, as of late, my favourite Palace player. I swear by that guy. He needs to start every time. He makes our team what it is. Even I'm going to say something big, even more so than Elise, yeah? And I think in the coming few weeks, we'll notice that. But not taking any credit away from Elise, but Eze, in the middle, problems that he causes is just next level.
Yeah, exactly. Both the connection was brilliant. But look, thank you for coming on, Aaron, bro. Really appreciate your time.
All right, man. See you later.
All right, then,
Take it easy, bro.
Now let's bring on Rich. Rich, what are you telling me, bro? 5-1 win over
Cousin
Leeds.
Richard, talk to me, bruv. Talk to me.
It was mad. What a game.
Listen,
what a game. I mean, that Palace side, where's it been? Where's it been?
Listen, I'll put my hands up for the royal apologists as well. I'll put my hands up. I was not expecting this at all. I was happy that he was appointed because I don't think any other interim would have worked. But I was just worried about the football play, and he's proved me wrong. Like he's got them oozing, absolutely oozing. And you know what? Sam Johnston, I have to give him his props first and foremost because he kept us in the game. The thing with Leeds, and it's a pattern which they need to figure out, they go so gung-ho first 20, 30 minutes. I think they tire out. Because that press was stupid. Like I was watching like, raw, we can't get out. We can't get out. And obviously the goal before half-time obviously must have deflated them. But before that, they just seemed, Ellen Road was flat. The players seemed flat. It's like as if they felt sorry for themselves. Similar to what us last week against Leicester. It's like, oh, we can't score goals here, sort of thing. And no, I'm just happy. The boys are they're just enjoying their football at the moment.
Exactly. That's what it all goes down to. Boys enjoying the football, and it's the attacking boys more than anything that's enjoying the football. For you, what was the difference from the first half to the second half?
I think Roy must have just said, boys, what are you lot doing, man? Relax. Just relax on the ball. Because we literally, every time we had the ball, we're trying to bounce it into midfield. The midfield, the first 20 minutes were just non-existent and stuff. Didn't work. And I did notice Lewington say, listen, for the meantime, just knock it long.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know, until we settle. You know, second half, we just got on the ball and we just did what we know what we can. You know, this team has too much potential. That's why next season the managerial appointment has to be is so important. We've got too much talent and too much potential aside to keep going backwards because the board don't want to spend money.
Yeah,
we've turned up at Ellen Road.
Yeah.
So hold on, I got a question, Rick. Rich, I got two questions actually. The first one: does Wilf hold bench now? Based on the past couple of performances, because all of our goals have come with Wilf not on the pitch.
You know, I mean, to be fair to Wilf, he was brilliant against Leicester before he came off. He does slow the game down a little bit, I feel. Like, I don't think he's got the legs to, like, you know, when he used to burst past players like time and time again. I don't think he has the legs anymore. Yeah, but he's better on the left than Jordan is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But Jordan's got 2 goals and an assist. I don't know.
Let's not get caught up in this, Wilf. Like,
nah, bro, I'm throwing a grenade in there, mate. I'm throwing a grenade in there.
But Wilf won't be available for the next game anyways, unless he does a miracle once again and comes back. But for you, Rich, talking about the relegation battle, this, of course, strengthens our hope. But
helps,
where do you stand? Where do you stand with it? Are you, of course, more confident now? But how many more wins do you think we need, or are you looking up the
minimum now, 4 points? 4 points should do it, but let's say 2 wins, and it's two games that we should and could win. Southampton away and Everton at home. Like, to be fair to Southampton, for about 45 minutes, they were decent against City. You know, and it's something we'll have to worry about. That Sulemana on the break. He's rapid.
Yeah.
And then Everton at home as well. I think those 2 games, I think we'll be okay. I'm not just yet saying that we're looking up, but Lampard's Chelsea is just there.
Looking down. Yeah, they might be looking down. Even if we're not looking up, they might be looking down. Let's just say that.
If we can finish above Lampard's Chelsea, the season is going to be
mad. That'll be mad. But look, hopefully we do get another result against Southampton. But does that also ease the pressure off the Southampton game now? Because in this game, for me anyways, I expected I would have been happy with a draw. It's considering it's away from home. But now that we got this win, 5-1 was absolutely ridiculous. The Southampton game, maybe a draw wouldn't be the worst thing, even though I expect us to go and win that game more than this game.
Nah, D, man, we're winning Southampton. Listen, Rich talks to this guy. He doesn't believe in us.
Now, we need to keep the momentum going, 100%. Don't get me wrong. But I think we would have all been happy with 5 points from the 3 games. We've got 6, but let's keep that train going, because the way we're playing at the moment, we're scoring goals for fun. It was good to see Eddie score today, because I could tell he was lacking confidence.
Yeah,
really, really lacking confidence. I don't know where this IU's come from, but hey, I'm all for it.
I wanted to stay exactly. At least for the next 9 games or 8 games now, anyways. I wanted to stay as it is, exactly, and then afterwards we can talk about next season. But look, I agree with you 100%. It's great talking about these 2 wins. It's great looking up the table, but in a funny way, I feel like the summer that we got coming up might be the most important summer we've had since getting promoted, because there's a lot of question marks about the next managerial appointment, about strength and depth. Because even today, just like I was thinking about last game, Woody kind of got off it because we won that game. And this game as well in the first half, he kind of got off it now that we won the game as well. But there are some serious weaknesses that we still need to for us to push on. Despite us winning 1-1. That shows
I know Roy is looking at experience with Ward, but no, I'm sorry, really can't need to be playing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like there's still improvements, but look, it's good. Funny enough, Arsenal scored as well. But
snap!
Arsenal scored against Liverpool, so yeah, they live in the moment as well. But yeah, so let's see what happens. But look, I appreciate your time, Rich.
No, always.
Man, like Rich.
Yeah,
bro. That was Rich. But yeah, Arsenal scored 1-0 up against Liverpool. That should be interesting. Let's bring on Patrick next.
It's funny that you mentioned Arsenal scored. I got Martinelli on my. I think it was him. I got him on my fantasy team. So, and after the day I had last week,
you're living a day. 5-1 Palace win. Points as well.
Hey, again, real quick with the first person that I think Looney about. I always had this thing. Let's not go to talk bad about former managers. I mean, I did it with Roy when Vieira was everybody's cup of tea. Now I'm going to do it with Vieira. He had a good first season. We had an FA Cup run. Let's leave that in the past. Object now is go forward with Roy, finish off this relegation battle. And guys, I think we're good, because if you look at the standings now, it wasn't just the performance and the great win. The goal differential now just dropped. We're at -10. And now what are we? 6 points above Nottingham Forest with a +20 goal differential over. That's like 3 games. So if you just go with that, if you just look at Forest, you mean to tell me they're going to win 3 more games over the rest of the way and overtake us? Nah, we're good. We're looking up. And you're talking about Chelsea. Fulham's dropping like a bat out of hell right now. We could get to 10th on our current form. I think you need to be looking like that. If you look at the schedule, who's the team you're scared of the most? Spurs? Maybe. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I agree. But then again, you have to look at the next game and then start there. Just take it game at time. And Southampton is going to be it's going to be a difficult test, because they're going to be fighting for their lives 100%, just like we've been doing. But, if we would go win that game, looking up rather than down. And this game gave us so much confidence. But for you, what has it been in this past 2 games that you've noticed different?
Simple coaching. It's a simple couple tactical tweaks. You actually are playing correct players in their correct position. I mean, other than Joe Ward playing, but we can't help that, I guess. But as a coming from
sorry to cut you off, Patrick. To cut you off. Do you mind turning your camera a bit more left, just in case the copyright stuff with your
how's that?
Background? No, the other way. Yeah, you're getting us taken down when you push it that way. Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Right,
because
yeah.
of the because of the
Yeah,
game
because of
on
the
in the
game. Yeah,
background.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
Sorry, continue.
But no,
Yeah,
I think it's coaching. I think you're playing Eze in his correct position under Roy previously. You're playing in what 4-1-4-1, 4-3-3. He's coming. He's not a traditional 10. He's not playing the 10. He's running the offense through the midfield. Uh, Jeffrey Schultz playing more direct. I don't know the position of the numbers. You said he's a number 8, but he's playing more direct. You're really taking more. You're being more aggressive offensively with your defense because you're not sitting back. You're not playing. You're just going forward, and you're kind of throwing a little bit of caution to the wind there. But he's trusting his center backs so well to make up the difference. And Elise's doing really good tracking back, helping Joe Ward. And then IU always tracks back. So I just like defense to offense. Really, you're playing more direct. I just the little tactical tweaks are the difference. A little bit of luck at the end against Leicester when the sorry center back was a Suter that couldn't cover Mateta. But all a win does is breeds confidence. And as bad as we played the first 20 minutes, give it up to Johnston, man, with that save, that great save off that. If that goes in, what is it, 2-0 at that point? He kept us in the game, and then once we got through, Leeds was always going to come forward no matter who their manager is, and we just hit them on the break. It's simple, just little tactical things like that.
Yeah.
So Patrick, with that, then would you consider keeping Johnson in goal for the rest of the season, giving him a bit of momentum, or would you go with Guaita once he's back to full fitness?
I would stick with Johnston for the moment. I wouldn't say the whole season because Guaita's been hurt. It seems like he's getting hurt every other game now. So, and now Johnston's already been in a relegation game. He already had come out with a couple of saves. If he's younger, I believe, isn't he? He's a couple of years younger.
Yeah.
If it's in Roy, traditionally, if it's not broke, he's not going to fix it. So why change it? Like, I mean, seriously, why change? The only change he's going to have to make is Edward can't play. Other than that, I mean, look, I like to see Nathaniel Klein for Joel Ward. I think we all do. But all right, I thought Ward played all right last week. But I mean, other than that, you can't really argue with much. I mean, we're just, if it's not broke, why fix it? He's gambling a little bit more on his defense than Roy normally does. We're playing a really high line. We would never do that under the first time we had Gary Cahill and Scott Dan back there. But I just think, why change it? I mean, he's doing, and I'm enjoying it because I'm Roy's biggest fan. I am. I mean, I thought he got a raw deal here at the end. I thought a lot of fans disrespected him. I didn't like the way it ended for him at Watford, even though I'm glad that he did the job and relegated Watford. But, I'm really hoping that he goes out in a flurry. Not a lot of draws. Let's win the majority of our games. Imagine we finish 10th under him. He saves our, pardon the expression, our ass again. And then he goes off into the sunset and we give him a standing ovation like he should have got the first time when he kept our sorry tail in the league. So, I mean, he has a habit. He needs a statue for bailing Steve Parrish out time and time and time again. So I don't want to see him here next year either. Don't get me wrong. Just these 10 games were fine. And the football's been really surprisingly pleasant to watch. So as long as Patrick keeps playing golf and listens to the game on the radio, you guys stick with the show, then we're going to keep it going forward. And as for Southampton, I could easily see us. We should win that game, truthfully, but I could easily see us drawing it because let's be honest, most of us thought we had either a loss or a draw here. Yeah. I would have been all right with a point. So Palace has a way of evening things out. Regardless, it's 6. We're 6 points plus the goal differential now. Like, to me, we should be looking up. To hell with relegate. Let's look up. Let's Chelsea is falling fast. I can't wait to see what Madrid does to them in midweek. And then Fulham, they're basically done. They're like mid-table mediocrity now. They can't go anywhere without what Mitrovic, their goal. They can't do anything. All those shots on South. Yeah, so I like where we're headed, man. I like where we're
headed. It's good times. It took us 2 games, but it's good times to be a Palace fan once again. Looking at the goal, I mean, 7 goals in 2 games, just unbelievable. And it's gonna be hard. I don't look, as I said last week, I said I don't think we're gonna have 30 shots, and this week it's gonna be different. I don't think we're gonna score 5 goals every game. I don't know what I'm gonna say next week.
16 shots today.
That's still brilliant. Like that's still brilliant. I would have been happy with like 8.
That's still more than Roy had his last year here.
And the whole season, yeah.
Yeah, the whole season. So you guys got enough people behind. I just want to say, I'm glad that the fans. I'm really glad that we're being more positive now and we're sticking behind Roy, because I understand some people like Vieira, some other didn't, but all that negative crap, I'm glad that's at least temporarily gone. Let's just focus on the pitch. Let's just focus on the manager, and then we'll deal with Parrish in the offseason. But until then, let's just keep it forward. That's what I want to hear.
Exactly, 100%. Look, Patrick, appreciate you taking your time. Hope you catch up with you after another positive result against Southampton. Let's see.
You got
let's
it.
See what
You
happens.
got it. Take care,
see you
guys.
later, Patrick. Take care. That was Patrick. But yeah, look, it makes such a difference. AJ, two wins, two massive wins for us. And as I said with the Leicester game, this widens the gap between us and Leeds. It's not just the fact that we got 3 points in terms of helping us stay up, but it's another team that's below us that we're just widening the gap. And that's going to be the same against Southampton if you get another positive result, or even at least a draw. It keeps the gap between the bottom sides going. But look, let's bring on the next guest. Jamal has been waiting. Jamal, how you doing?
Hey guys, what's up?
Yeah, good man, good. 5-1 win away from home.
Oh
Where's
man,
the
I
been
was
all season?
every goal that scored, it was shouting. I have not shouted like that in the house for like probably 4 months. People thought it was dead in here. Very good, very good. Good to see goals after goals. Good to see everybody performing. But I mainly want to talk about today the defensive players. I don't want to stress on the attacking players. Mark Gee has to be currently on form the best English centre back that they have. He leads the back line well. He talks to the goalkeeper. He talks to the left back. He talks to the right back. He talks to even the Corey. I am not sure how you realize, but the Corey is not as expansive as he was before. He sits there, and sometimes you see that when Mark Gee strikes out, the Corey just drops back in his position. And other than the goal, Mark Gee bossed Brantford the whole game. Aerially, on the feet. It didn't matter. Mark Gee was just tremendous. He was tremendous. And on the goal was the main reason why we got back in the game. The timing of the goal, it just gave the coach a platform, Roy a platform to say we go out these guys in the second half. If we didn't get that goal, then it'd be a little difficult to push the guys to get that goal. But that goal was very timely. Mark Gee, fantastic defender. It was a steal. The Crystal Palace got him a steal.
100%. And he's been the one that's been rumored to be potentially one of the players that could move on from the club. But for me, talk about Gay. What do you think about the goalkeeper situation? Guaita was out in this game. Johnston came in. I thought he done a fantastic job, especially in the first half.
I thought that we got 3 good goalkeepers now. Before we were looking at what we're going to do. The guy with Worth 2 games ago, he was fantastic. Although we conceded a lot of goals. No, I think it was he was good. And now Sam Johnson showing he's good as well. So I don't think we have a problem in that department now. It was a worry for us, I think, last season, who's going to replace Gaeta. But now we have a very young goalkeeper that we could probably learn and get experience. And we also got Sam Johnson, who looked very good as well. He was good on the pressure as well. You can tell a good goalkeeper when they're under pressure, not when they're, you're attacking, you scoring goals, and they're just standing out like this, shouting. When you're under pressure, that way you see the fruits of a goalkeeper. He did not crack. He did not make any big mistakes, if any. He was very good.
Yeah, for you, what does this mean for the relegation battle? Of course, another win that helps with the sides below us. How many more wins do you think we need, or are you just confident now from here onwards that we'll stay up, or is it just taking a game at a time?
I was always confident we would stand up, regardless of if Patrick was there or Roy. The reason being, if you look at the games that we lost the last 4 months, all the teams was above us. We never have a problem with teams below us. That's the reason why we were in 12th before you got third. We always beat the teams below us, right? But then, holistically, you got to answer yourself the question. Coming into the season, what Steve Parrish and the board sat down and talked about? Do they want to get in top 4? Do we want to get to Europe? Do we want to continue being in mid-table? Do we want to be in getting rid of battle? When you every time there's a shareholder meeting, every year the annual GM, you state what you want to accomplish in this league. You give the resources. You have a budget. You give the resources to the manager to achieve what you want to achieve. And it was clear from the beginning what we want to achieve. We were never going for Europe. We were always going to be mid-table. And that's where we are now, mid-table. So once we keep on doing and Roy was not my first pick, but I'm so glad that we have him. He's very experienced. He's coaching the team well. The players look like brand new players. These are the same players that Patrick had 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. These look like brand new players. Everyone is smiling, as everyone said, and they're happy and they're doing well. So I just want to give him appreciation for coming in, because he could say no at 75 years old. I'm telling you, I personally will be on a yacht with my foot up with his millions.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was
ladies or something, like drinking some margaritas or something.
Yeah.
You know, but he he's on a stressful job. He put himself in a stressful position, and also to don't forget he was with Watford last season and they got relegated. So in his mind, you know, to have the mental strength to say I can do this, I applaud him for coming, because a lot of people would not come.
Jamal, what part of the world you from? What part of the world you in?
I'm from the Caribbean.
Where
I'm from Barbados.
So hang on, you could be sitting on a yacht and dripping margaritas every weekend, bro.
Yeah, you're already living that life right now,
I
man.
know,
He's on a yacht right now.
The palace, man. I'm addicted to the palace.
Yeah.
So right now, I would. So it's
I thought the accent looked familiar. I thought the accent sounded familiar. Yeah. We get to Europe. We're coming to you, mate. We're staying at yours, yeah?
Anytime, man. Anytime, man. A lot of you guys come down. Yeah.
So yeah, but I was gonna say, the win, of course, is massive now. Southampton, expectations, does it drop now? Kind of like, is it like it doesn't? For me, I would have been happy with drawing this game and then we beat Southampton, but we got a win in this game. Would a draw be okay against Southampton? Of course, we want to all win, and we should be winning with the confidence that we got. But would you be okay with a draw?
Once you don't lose, Southampton is a wounded animal. Those guys know that they have no choice to win. So if we don't match their mentality, we are going to get beat. We got to go there and say we want to win. Because if we say we can't play for a draw, these guys are going to eat us alive. Those guys are fighting tooth and nail. There's an animal that has its back against the wall. The only way they can go is up. There's no one to overtake them. They're last. So these guys can look at it. It's not like if they say, oh, they got to play Arsenal or they got to play Man City. They say, we got to play Crystal Palace. We could get at them. So we need to match their energy. We need to be determined. We got to go there looking for the win. If we get a draw, okay, but we need to go there with the mentality that we need to beat this team. Because these guys have no choice but to win. Because I believe I think they need to win at least the next 6 games in order to stay up. So if they don't win the next, they're going down. So the next 2 games for them is crucial. So we looking at table at 12, and these guys look at table at 20th. These guys are only thinking about one thing, and that's to win.
Yeah, it won't be easy. It won't be
easy. His win. Of course,
it won't be. It won't be easy. But then again, if we start fast, you never know. We could hopefully go get another win. It'll be great to have 3 wins in a row and just keep pushing up the table. But look, appreciate your time, Jamal. Hopefully, we come on here next week and talk about another victory. I mean, it'll be fantastic. I love doing the shows after wins. Exactly, it feels good to win.
It feels good.
Exactly,
it feels good.
Exactly, 100%. Well,
right,
take care, bro. Enjoy the sun. Enjoy the time.
Jamal, you take it easy, my brother.
I will. You guys good. All right, thank you.
Yeah, man, it feels good. 100%.
Calling from Barbados, you know.
Yeah. Dan, how you doing? Palace 5, Leeds 1. I never thought I'd be saying this today, but crazy game, man. Crazy result.
It just feels so good, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Like it's so good, so good. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
what was it today? What was it today that or even in the past 2 games that you've noticed difference?
My voice, my flat is a mess. Word it up. Well,
I think you're having connection issues, Dan. You're cutting out quite a bit. We can't hear you.
As an elite, like to
maybe get him to call back, maybe.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Hold on 2 seconds. I'll leave you.
I think it might be your connection. Yeah. If you want, just we'll bring you back on in like 2 minutes. Whilst we sort that out. Just let us know when you're ready. Behind the scenes.
Okay, mate.
We'll bring back Dan on in just a bit. Let's bring on Henry next. Henry, another win. This time 5 goals instead of the 2. Only getting better. You're on mute.
You're
You're having
muted, mate.
howler though. Yeah. You like. I mean, that's an L from your side.
D would know
You're
everything
mute
about that.
still.
Mate. D would know everything about that.
Let me
You hear me
unmute.
now,
Here
yeah?
you go. Here you go. Yeah, now we
Yes,
can
you
hear you.
can,
Now we
mate.
can hear you.
You
Go
see the
ahead,
smile
go
on my
ahead.
face? It ain't coming off.
It's bad.
Oh,
Trust me. It's not. It's the same with
Did we
everyone.
really just win 5-1
Oh
I
yes,
can't believe
mate.
that as well. I can't
after
believe that as
being
well.
1-0 down? I mean,
What? Yeah.
wow. I thought last week's performance was the best we've seen all season, but this time, wow. I mean, I think they might have topped it. I just can't believe it. Really, like it was like chalk and cheese between the first and second half, but we just looked so good in attack. Like they couldn't handle Elise and Eze when they linked up, and I was so impressed by like how threatening we were, even without Wilf as well. Like,
what do you think what do you think has changed from the management aspect? Do you notice anything tactically, or is it a case of just confidence boost? Because something has definitely changed. Of course, we're facing easier sides, but despite, I mean, 5-1. When's the last time we won 5-1 as a football club? I can't remember. Forget about Vieira or Hodgson. It's been a long time. But what do you think it is in the past 2 games that Roy has changed? What's the one thing that stands out for you?
I mean, I think he's definitely injected more belief into the players because they just don't seem to be phased at all. I think the concentration in defence has improved a lot. I think we're working more as a team to get back in defensive positions when we need to. And like everything we do is as a unit, whether we're defending or attacking, everyone's in it like together. Whereas I feel like towards the end with Vieira, it was just really disjointed. Like everyone knows their jobs. That's the thing. And when we can score goals like this, like it's going to yield results. Hopefully it will continue to, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, Ayew as well. Ayew scored not 1 but 2 goals.
He was on a hat trick. I was mad at Roy for taking him off for a hat trick. Like I never thought I'd be saying that. Like I was mad at Roy for taking off Jordan Ayew because it was on a hat trick. You would have thought,
if you'd have told us even after the Leicester game, if I'd have told you that we were going to beat Leeds 5-1 after going a goal down, but not only that Jordan Ayew of all people was going to score twice, what would you have said?
I would say wake up because you're not being realistic right now.
You would have asked me
That's
what
drugs
I'm on, wouldn't you? Like
literally.
I mean,
like, it's crazy.
It's just great. I mean, Edouard getting his goal as well. I thought we could have even won 6-1, to be honest. Like it was there for us.
6-7, yeah, exactly.
Which would have been our highest ever Premier League win, I believe. But like, just full credit to the team and to Roy, and you know, it. I don't want to get too carried away. I mean, it's hard. It's hard, obviously, when you win 5-1, but at the end of the day, we still got games to win. So, but I think we can. I really think we can do it now. Like I look at that Southampton game and I think win that 36 points, and then Everton. Like we can potentially seal our safety in these next 2 or 3 games, which is like just remarkable, really, considering where we've come from. I think it's just the change of mentality and the change of confidence it's just so different. Like, and it just goes to show what good management can do.
Yeah.
So Henry, on that then, would you make any changes coming into these next games, including bringing a Mr. Zaha back into the squad if necessary? But based on what you've seen in the last 2 games, would there be any sort of changes you would make coming into obviously Everton and Southampton coming up next?
I don't know. I mean, it feels like why change a winning team? You know, I mean, the only sort of thing I would maybe think about is maybe bringing in like Klein, or at least bringing him on for a bit longer. But I thought Ward did terrific like today. In the first half, he seemed a bit like overrun at times, but I just think he's a really committed player, and he's got that intelligence about him, so that can kind of make up for his lack of pace at times. But
debatable, but
debatable, yeah. But I mean, I don't know what I would change. I mean, obviously, I would play Wolf if he's fit, but I don't think he's gonna be for the next at least.
But then
1 or 2 games.
hypothetically, if you were to, based on obviously Ayew and Elise playing their lives off right about now, which one of them are you dropping to bring Wolf in?
Probably what, between Ayew and Elise, did you say?
Well, an educated guess would be those are the two you'd probably be looking at, unless you obviously would put him up front or maybe change the formation maybe and take somebody else out.
I would put him in ahead of Ayew, despite, I mean, that feels a bit cruel now after he's just had the game of his life, but yeah, I would still probably put him ahead of Ayew, and then maybe bring Ayew on, because like we saw against Leicester, he can still make a difference off the bench as well. So
interesting.
Interesting.
And also today, there's another positive was, and not many people are talking about, is that Decore didn't get another yellow card. And I think that's the key until Will comes back as well. Because if he gets another yellow card, he's out for 2 games. He can survive, hopefully survive Southampton game as well, and just survive basically until we're mathematically safe, and I'll be happy. Because I thought he had a solid game once again today. I know we're going to talk about defenders and attackers because we just won 5-1 and we didn't concede that many goals. But I thought Decore had a solid game, and he seems a bit more composed recently. I've noticed that in terms of his discipline. Maybe he's needed that. He's needed this moment where in the back of his mind he's thinking, if I get another yellow card, I'm out for 2 games. Maybe he's needed this moment to calm down a bit. And when he's calm, he's fantastic. His main problem has been discipline.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you can see that the talent really comes out when he's not making challenges that gets yellow cards and sometimes red cards. Like, he's definitely a very talented player. But yeah, it's a good balance to have when they're all playing well. Decore, Elise, even Schlupp as well. Like, just, I think there's been a change from Schlupp's performances too.
Like, he's been great. He's been great midfield. I love it. But the thing that I've noticed, the main difference for Schlupp, I don't know about you, is that first of all, we know his strengths. His strengths are getting on the ball and running at the defense. And in midfield, he's been able to do that. Even today, even in the first half when we were struggling quite a bit, it was not his passes that stood out for me. It was the fact that when he gets on the ball and runs at defenses, he causes them problems. And he really hasn't been able to do that as much this season. So that's been the main positive over the last 2 games for Schlupp in midfield.
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought Schlupp's a good passer of the ball, but I think what we've seen the last 2 games is him not afraid to run at people, and he's also good at, like, what's it called, like, just out strengthening people, like using his strength to his advantage, out muscling people, and then dribbling, and then picking out. I mean, it really helps to have someone like that, because you can go from defense to attack quite quickly, and then that gives you the chance to, like, potentially when you're not playing as well, like we did in the first half, didn't play too well, like up until, well, we equalised on the stroke of half time, but it just makes a difference when Schlupp's playing like that, because like before Roy came back, like it's an unrecognisable team. Like, it's like, I don't know what Roy's done, but he's clearly made them believe in themselves, because, you know, to win 1 game is good, to win 2 is great, but to win back-to-back games and win the second one 5-1 is unheard of. Like, it's just
unreal.
I really hope that we can carry this forward and you know, just keep our feet on the ground. We go again next week against Southampton. You know, we can't afford to just take it easy now and think, oh, we've won 5-1, we're gonna be safe easily. No, I'm sure Roy's going to instill that, like, there's still a job to do here. Because,
100%.
you know, so yeah, I couldn't be happy, man. I couldn't be.
Yeah.
I'm
Look,
going to enjoy this week again. You know, it's great.
exactly. Another week to enjoy. Another week to enjoy until we face
Yeah.
Southampton. Hopefully, then we get another week of enjoyment as well. But look, thank you for your call, Henry. Really appreciate your time.
No worries. Cool.
Take care. That was Henry. Happy to say, let's try to bring on Dan again. Dan, hopefully the connection issues are fixed up. But yeah, let's try again. Leeds 1, Palace 5. I'll be honest, no one thought would be saying something as crazy as that. I think we would have all been happy with like a 2-1 narrow with 2 shots on target win, but we dominated them in the second half. It was actually unbelievable. Can you hear us?
I was talking to my friend. Before the game.
Yeah.
Hello, yeah.
I think the connection is still it's still jumping about. We can't really hear you right now. I'm not too sure what exactly it is, but yeah, we can't really hear you.
Yeah, I think it's on your end, mate. I'm not too sure.
No, it's working. AJ, am I fine?
Yeah, I'm still having problems on my end.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been no problems with the guests as well. I think it might just be connection. I don't know. Sometimes it happens, connection issues. But let's try again. Let's see if it's working now. Anyways. But yeah, just your thoughts on the game. If you want, turn off your camera. See if that helps as well. Turn off your camera on the settings if you can hear me, and see if that helps your connection in terms of giving it a boost. It might be your camera being on as well. That's stopping you back. But whilst it's doing that, AJ, I mean, today there's been a few players that did stand up. Can you hear us still, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't.
We're having a mare with this.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Jen, you can't hear you. It's just jumping all over the place, the connection. Hopefully we can bring you on maybe later on. I'm not too sure. But yeah, the connection is really bad right now.
Can you hear me now?
Actually, yeah, we can. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I think as we were saying, first half was poor. Second half, it was the total turnaround. As you asked me before, like what's been the change and all that stuff. I think it's Eze and Elise both stepping up to the plate. It was so good to see Eze back in the form what he was showing before, and Elise's just like, mate. I'm just wordless to say the least about how Elise goes about his business. He's just gangster, and he, you know what I mean? That little shush and be quiet to the Leeds fans. He's just absolutely gangster. He's a baller.
It's just unbelievable. But the three assists in the second half. When he takes control over the game like that, he's unstoppable.
Oh man. The guy, as I said, the guy's just outrageous. Like I'm a top fan of Elise. Sometimes he's just like a bit like Wilf was a few years ago, where he's just laboured and lethargic and can't really be asked to play the game. But then all of a sudden that's it, bang, just clicks into life. And him alone, I think, and Eze are just gonna wind this season down, and we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah, you reckon that we're staying up now after that game, or you still want to see a bit more?
Yeah, I was confident we was going to stay up anyway. I had a little bit of doubt. You don't get me wrong, like everyone does. When Roy Hodgson got named back in charge and that, but at the end of the day, we showed our character against Leicester, and today to come back from a goal down against one of the hardest places to go, I feel, in the Premier League, which is Leeds, when they're on point, and to go and smack them 5-1. Well, that's just a liberty, really, isn't it? But it happens. It happens.
Yeah, it's unreal.
You got your arm handed to your boy.
Exactly. How many more wins do you think we need then?
realistically, I can probably see a draw against Southampton, a draw against Everton, and then I think probably 2 more wins. Yeah, 2 more wins.
Yeah, 2 more wins, I think we'll stay up. Yeah, hopefully we beat Southampton and Everton, then I think it's done anyways if we beat them sides. But the position that we're in right now, even if we get draws, I don't think it'll be that bad because the gap is just widening from the bottom as it stands. But for you, what do you think of Johnson today in goal? If Vicente was out injured and, you know, he's been out injured as well quite a bit ever since he joined Palace. But today I thought he was brilliant in the first half.
Yeah, my mate, like I've got a few friends that support different teams and that, and like he said you got a little bargain there in Johnson, and like I wasn't too convinced, but today he showed his worth. You know what I mean? Like that save he made when we were 1-0 down, like that was just a worldie, and like to perform under pressure as well, like he's a number one keeper. You know what I mean? But obviously, you got to entrust in Vicente, which we all do. You know, Guay is a top goalie, but it's going to come a day where you know Johnson's going to get his time, and I feel why not now? You know what I mean? With Guay out, you know, why not now? Just let him have a go.
So do you think he's ready then? He's ready for first team football?
I think he's more than ready. I think he's more than ready. You know, he's confident. He's confident with his kicking ability. All right, fair enough. You know, we play that defensive ball out of the back, don't we? You know, where we like to chuck it around to the defenders and all that stuff. Where he's more like Route 1 and wants to get it forward. But maybe that will hold us back. But only time will tell. You know what I mean? Like we just got to believe. We just got to believe in players. You know. Show them belief and let them go on and do their thing on the pitch.
Yeah, 100%. Look, hopefully next week we get another result against Southampton and just keep going on. At this point, I'm not even. Of course, I'm looking down. I'm not saying that it's done. We stayed up because there's only 2 wins and there's still, enough points to go pick up from teams below us. But it's now against Southampton. As I said after the Leicester game, it does not matter until the next game. And this game, we've ticked the box again. And there's another cup final, this time against Southampton. And then we go again. I just want us to pick up as many points as possible. I'm not even talking about just relegation for relegation sake. I just want us to go up the table. You know, have some good times, end the season on a high. Because we've needed it. It's been so annoying. And once again, this summer's going to be massive. I said it when Rich was here as well from Eagle Eye Football. I feel like this summer's arguably going to be one of the most, maybe when Vieira joined in, it was a bit more important because we got rid of a lot of players, but another massive summer coming up. So let's pick up as many points. Let's try to show the next manager that what we can do and what these players can do, and then move on from there. But look, Dan, really appreciate your time. And hopefully, as I said, hopefully we kick on from here and enough of this relegation talk because it's been a long season.
Just a quick one, Dee. Yeah. Just a quick one. Can I put AJ up on something? How on earth did you give Jeff Schlupp a 5 last week? That was awful. Awful work. Awful work.
He's come for me.
Explain yourself, AJ.
Basically, I'll try and summarize this because we ain't got enough time this afternoon. I think, in all fairness, he was great in the first half, but I felt in the second half we saw the old version of him. I thought he essentially fell off a cliff in the second half. I felt he was misplacing passes. I felt that Wilf essentially carried him because what he was doing was he was a lot more creative when he was sort of flicking the ball on in the first half, and Wilf was essentially saving him there and Mitchell was saving him there. I felt that in the second half when Wilf came off and now he was essentially creating his own chances in the second half, he just wasn't really doing anything. He was misplacing passes. He was a little bit clumsier in the second half. That's why essentially I come up with a 5. So for me personally, I just felt that he wasn't consistent enough in that game, and I felt like I was seeing old versions of Jeffrey Schlupp in that second half.
Well, that's fair, mate. That's fair.
That's fair. I appreciate it. Be on the player ratings once again.
So wait until you see this week's player ratings, mate.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good.
Wait until you see this week's player ratings, mate.
Player ratings will be out later on, so let's see what he gives Jeffrey Schlupp.
But I love it, man. I love it. Listen, the man had a question. The man had a question. He bring it. I love it.
Nice one. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for letting us come on, man. I appreciate you both, honestly.
Really
I appreciate the channel. Big up, man. Big up.
Cheers,
right,
man.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you. Watch AJ give somehow like Jordan Ayew 3 because he's only scored
No
2
one
goals,
said.
not a hat trick. Yeah, or at least say 3 because he only got 3 assists. Something crazy.
Where was the
like
goal?
that.
Where was the goal?
Where was the goal? Below average. You should have scored 3 goals as well. Let's bring on Tim next. Tim, you're on mute by the way. There you go. See, he does the job.
Tim.
What a win! What a win!
Oh my goodness!
Fantastic. 5-1
Wow.
over Leeds.
Wow.
Step in the right direction. What was that? Like that was something else.
I know. Jordan Ayew, not 1 but 2 goals.
Goals.
What is happening? What is happening? No, it was amazing. I will just a quick thing. I mean, Ebbs and Michael, those two are lethal and joyous when they are playing together. But I don't think that's what started the big comeback. I want to give a lot of credit to Gay and Schleppy. I thought Schleppy coming out and making that dive for the header. I mean, it didn't go anywhere, but he's aggressive, running into the box, dives for the ball right into Melier. And that's what we needed. And in the first half, Schleppy was, I would say Johnston was our best player in the first half. But Schleppy was at it. I mean, there was a lot of – it was a little slow, and it was not inspiring in that first half. But Schleppy was different in that first half. He was one of the players that was getting up, getting forward, and him coming out and getting aggressive at the beginning of that second half, I think that set the tone. And then I'll say also Gay at the beginning of the game was poor. He wasn't in it at the beginning of the game. At the beginning of the first 20 minutes, I mean, he made some terrible mistakes. And then he kind of got back into the game. So those two players, I think, are emblematic of the belief that's different in the side. Like I'm not sure how Vieira couldn't get this out of Ebbs. And I don't want to blame him, but the belief is definitely different. And those two players, like Gay had a shambolic first 20 minutes, and then he was great. And he was in it, and he never gave up, and he never lost belief. And he had a great rest of the game. I'll be really curious to see what your player rating is going to be for him, AJ, because I know nobody's saying.
Everyone's on your player ratings.
See?
We're curious.
Tim gets it, though. He said it. Nobody's safe. Tim gets it. He knows. He knows.
Yeah. No, but
Although,
Tim, for me, go on, AJ.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go on. Go on, D. Go on.
AJ.
Now, what I was thinking, Tim, because actually, funny enough, I actually like the way you think a lot, actually. For you, how easy is it for Wilf to get back into this team based on the form it's in right now?
No, I think I think you got to put Wilf back in. But I hear what you're saying. I think for both Vinny and for Wilf, for me, I think it is a matter of let's not rush him. Like I want Wilf back, and he's an easy slot in. Like he steps in front of Jordan Ayew. I mean, I what a performance by him today. But he steps in front of Ayew, 10 times out of 10 every single time. But you don't have to rush him. He's got a groin injury. Let him get healthy. Let him end the season the way that we want him to end the season. I mean, I think we all want to see him have an absolute banger against Forest in the last game of the season, and we just, are on our feet for an hour, just saluting this guy that has changed our club. Like, obviously, I think Wilf is back in, but I don't want to rush him. And I feel the same way about Vinny. Like, let Johnston get a run. Let him get a run. He looked really good today. Vinny is still the first choice goalkeeper, but I mean, he's got a knock. So give him as much time on the training table as he needs. And when he's ready and he's genuinely healthy, then you get him back in the side. But nah, I don't think this is one where today's performance, knocks either one of them down the depth chart in any means. I don't need to rush him back. And in years past, you would be begging for Wilf to get off the training table as soon as possible, right? And that's not the case right now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And another player that we haven't talked about today, and we talked about, of course, the likes of Elise and the Gays, and rightly so, because those were the standout players.
Yeah.
But then Edward, the striker situation.
Yeah.
When he scored that goal, he seemed. He's pointing at his wrist, and maybe he's talking about time that scored. I don't know what he's pointing at, like what that meant, but it was great to see him on the score sheet as well, because that's a player that, for me, anyways, I feel like he's got a bit of talent in him, but he was so low on confidence. Hopefully that doesn't well. I thought he had another solid game today.
I did too. I thought, and once we got our confidence, then you saw Ebbs and Michael just running at players, just remembering. I really feel that. I can see in training Roy and Ray just saying, come on, son, run at them. Take players on. Like, and they started doing that. And once they did that and opening up space for Eddie, I agree with you, D. I mean, he needs somebody to distribute to him and get the ball to his feet, because he's the problem I've seen with Eddie, and I might be wrong about this, but it's one of those where he needs the ball right at his feet, and he just spends too much time setting himself. But when he's in space and he gets the ball right where he needs it, he can be clinical. And that was a great finish on that goal. But I agree, low on confidence, badly needed it. But once we got confidence and started establishing aggressiveness in that second half, Elise was unplayable, Ebbs was unplayable. That's the Palace I think we all believe exists in this team. And what a joy to see it. Amazing.
Yeah. Especially the attacking players that we were so hopeful of this season, stepping up to the plate. Like, yes, Elise's got another season under his belt. Eze's got another season, and he's coming back from injury last year. So that's the most fantastic thing, to see these players, live up to the potential. But of course, there's only 2 games. We've got Southampton coming up next. For you, based on what we've seen in the next 2 games, you must be confident.
I feel good about going to Southampton, but I feel like the only worry is that you could tell there was some nervousness and anxiety in the squad at Leeds today in that first half. This is why I give so much credit to Schleppy. He was the veteran, I thought, on the pitch, who was like, no, we can play with these guys, and running at people and getting aggressive and not backing down. And that was great. And then when Gay settled himself, he was the same way. Anderson was terrific. He was the one on the back line that I thought there were too many chances for Leeds early. But during that period, Anderson was one of the steadying forces. He kept in, cut balls out, kicking them out, and never lost his composure. Credit to Decore, too. He never lost his composure either. So I want to see, when we go to Southampton, a belief from the kickoff that these are our 3 points. Let's go get them. Like, I want to see that. I don't think we saw that today, except at the second half kickoff. Then I thought, these are our 3 points. Let's go get them. That Palace team, I want to see that at Southampton.
Yeah, 100%. And we're back to 12th, which also helps in that aspect.
Big time.
And we're slowly, well, not yet, but we're slowly looking up rather than down. Like, I want to reach that point where you're looking up rather than down the table. But I'll be honest, the most important thing today was character. I think we've seen it in the last 2 games.
Yes.
Well, you can make the argument that when we conceded under Patrick Vieira, that was the one downside. It seemed like the player just lost the head. There was no way we was going to come back. Especially recently.
And don't you think that was emblematic with Gay?
Yeah.
Don't you think that was emblematic with Gay? Because he had 2. I mean, he let in 2 Leeds players. Those easily, if Johnston doesn't stand up, like basically at the top of the box, at the top of the 18-yard box, he makes 2 crucial misses, lets 2 Leeds players in right on goal. I mean, he's just absolutely blown it. Johnston makes 2 great saves, and then to the point you just made, D, he never let his head go down. And yeah, I think in games past, we would have said, like, well, we're not up for it today, and we would have lost that game.
Exactly, and that's the most important thing: the character. But now it's on to the next game, another cup final. My mentality doesn't change. I know we won this game. I know we beat Leicester, and yes, we're going up, but it's now a cup final. I want us to go and win as many games as we can till the end of the season. We had this difficult run of games. Now we've had these teams below us. I want us to show what we've shown today, because I know this squad has got it in them, and Southampton's not going to be. Well, it should be easier on paper, but they're going to be up for it. They're also another side fighting for their life, and we need to make sure one thing that we can say from this game is to start a bit faster. We let Leeds get into the game. I know it's away from home, and of course, you're not really expecting to dominate away from home. Well, we did in the second half, but start a bit faster against Southampton. Don't let them get the confidence that you gave Leeds in the first half, in the first 20 to 30 minutes, because. Yes, we've had comebacks, but it would be nice. It would be nice to take the lead rather than just chasing the lead. Even though we've seen in the last 2 games that we can still have comebacks in this team. I think that's the most important thing.
The most, isn't it? I might have this wrong. I believe I saw it on the game here in the U.S. They said, I think they put the stat up was Palace has the most points from losing position so far in the Prem this year. I think it's 17. Is that right? Is it 17 points from losing positions? Which is
that's what I want to say. Yeah, we have had some good moments under Vieira in terms of comebacks to pick up points. But towards the end of times, especially I remember the Brighton game, it just, even the Villa game, we just collapsed. After we scored a goal, we just collapsed. Towards the end of time, I didn't really have the confidence that we will have comebacks like we're doing right now. And that's the one thing that I've noticed. It's the players' reactions to being a goal down. Instead of just sulking, they get even more hungry. It's weird. Like, where was that hunger at the start of the game when it was 0-0? They just get something in them that boosts them on. So that's the one area that, if I'm looking at areas potentially to improve, start the game a bit stronger and take the goal lead. But look, fantastic result once again, and hopefully we kick on. Hopefully we kick on from this. But
before I let you guys go, can I say one quick thing? Because I do want to give a little bit of credit to. I'm loving what Roy and Ray are doing, but I do want to give a little bit of credit to Vieira. This squad, Roy brought in Ebbs, but some of the other players, and Michael came because of Patrick Vieira. With some of the squad that we have and some of the recruiting we've done is at least partially due. So I don't think Vieira could take us where we wanted to go. And that's sad because I really liked him. But I want to express some gratitude to Patrick because, he got us to this team. And this team is one of the most, when they're at it, like today, man, are they fun to watch. So for that, I have a lot of gratitude for Patrick Vieira, for what it's worth.
Yeah. 100. Roy said it last game.
Yes.
Last game, speaking to Paddy CB, and rightly so, because some of these possessions based style that we're having, it's down to Vieira as well. You can't take away that credit from him. But there comes a time where, unfortunately, we're not going to talk about Vieira anymore. That's going to be after these 8 games, because it's going to be a new season, new set of players, and it's time to move on. It's done. Like, it is done.
Absolutely.
But credit to Vieira for what he achieved last season, and to a certain extent even this season, in terms of some aspects of our game that still works. Defensively, we're still solid. It's also the players, but also to the management as well, how we coach. So yeah, I think what Roy's done is come in, change it up in terms of we're a bit more of a counter-attacking team, especially in the second half. We saw it. And I think it's down to the basics, being more counter-attacking and then, damaging teams like that, which maybe Vieira could have done, but he didn't get opportunity. So we move
little
on.
Details.
Yeah.
Little details.
Yeah, I think it goes to both managers. Vieira, 100%. There's aspects of our game that's carried on from Vieira, but then also you have to give credit to Hodgson, because what I've noticed the most is the confidence in certain players has just gone up. And that has to be the manager. It has to be the manager. Especially I'm looking at Eze. Yeah, Eze's been fantastic in the last 2 games, and he was one of those players this season who was talking about, he hasn't been good enough, he hasn't been consistent, but he's been fantastic.
Yes.
So it goes both ways. I think both managers combined is why we're getting these last 2 results. But yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But I appreciate your time, Tim. Hopefully we continue this. Hopefully, I want a
Good to
little win.
speak to you, Tim. Good to speak to you, sir.
Yeah, up the
Take
palace,
care.
boys. Thanks so
Up
much.
the palace.
Great show.
Up the palace.
Take care.
Thank you, Tim. That was Tim. What a show. What a show, AJ. Look, another win. We go again against Southampton, but we'll talk about Southampton in our preview anyways. But yeah, it's good. It's good times being a Palace fan. It's good times being a Palace fan in the last 2 games. But I'm in the mentality, I don't know, I'm in the mentality that I'm not even looking at the Everton game. I'm looking at the Southampton game. And it's what we do against Southampton now. And we just have to keep this going. Keep this going. Not in terms of 5 goals, like I said, not in terms of 30 shots last game. But still, Southampton, bottom of the league, show them, why they should remain there. You get it? Like, their confidence should be low.
I want 6 against Southampton. I want 6.
Yeah,
we'll see, man. It's all about momentum, man. It's all about momentum. We now showing what we are capable of. We are showing that when we turn it on and we get it right, that we can pretty much beat anybody on our day. And we do know that we're more than capable, and we are capable of doing that without our star talisman as well. So if we can kind of bring it to Southampton and keep them in their box, essentially, St. Mary's is not an intimidating place to go for a fan, for a footballer. So, and they've proved that all season, to be fair. They've got a very young squad of, I want to say nobodies, that's very disrespectful, of players that, we can beat and dominate. So if we can continue the momentum and our star players in our team can continue to step up and we can stay on that wavelength, could be crazy. The Southampton will be in trouble next week.
Exactly. But let's see what happens. But look, that's it from us. We're going to wrap it up now. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to not miss out on future content. Another win, 5-1 win. But we go again next week with the build up to the Southampton game. It does not stop. We have to keep going. It's all about momentum, as AJ said. It's all about momentum and what we do from here onwards, because the season ain't done yet. There's still a lot of points to pick up. And, we want to remain 12th. Even if we're not 11th, let's remain 12th. Another week gone by, we're remaining 12th. But let's see what happens next week. But look, that's it from me and AJ. And until next time, up the Palace.
Up the Palace, baby. Let's go.